Hi, this is Kelsey Rice with Green Energy TV. Today I am speaking with Connie and Deb Guy. They are out of the Pennsylvania chapter of Normal. Thank you for being here with me today, ladies. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now let's just start off briefly, describing who Normal is, just for those who, if they've never heard of what Normal is.
We are the Lancaster chapter, actually, of the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. They are an organization, they've been around since 1971. They're a national organization to fight against prohibition of marijuana or cannabis. We are the Lancaster chapter. There are two other chapters in Pennsylvania. We have a Philadelphia chapter as well as a Pittsburgh chapter.
Okay.
Yeah, we're represented on both ends of the state and right here in the middle. In the Susquehanna Valley here. I actually joined Normal in 1973, so I've seen this movement come along very slowly. However, it is moving at lightning speed I'd say the last 5 years. One of the things that Normal is participating in actually now with the PA advocates for cannabis, for medicinal cannabis, and we have great bills. Senator Dalen Leach introduced Senate Bill 528 last year, which was a full legalization bill. And Pennsylvania is a very conservative state, and because of that, we did not see that full legalization would come to fruition anytime within the next few years. So Senator Mike Fulmer, who is a Republican senator, listened to the plight of some of the parents and their children that need the CBD oils. And he took it upon himself to find a co-sponsor who, again, was Senator Dalen Leach. And they co-sponsored Senate Bill 1181 and 1182. Senate Bill 1182 is the medicinal marijuana or medicinal cannabis bill that would allow us to have dispensaries here in Pennsylvania along with organic chemists and growers. And it is our hope, it's written into the bill, that would be the dispensary captains. And so we have, I think there were 25 dispensaries that they wanted. I think that is right, 25 in the bill. And the Senate asked, the Senate president actually asked Mike Fulmer if they would be interested in lowering the amount of dispensaries, because this is a brand new, they did, and they said, 10, 15 dispensaries across the state, so be it. Well, where we are today with Senate Bill 1182 is that last month, Debbie, or a month before, we had our first Senate hearing in the Law and Justice Committee, and tomorrow morning, Senate Bill 1182 and Senate hearing tomorrow morning. Can you try to edit from that point?
Yep. Why don't,
Okay.
Hold on 1 second.
We'll just go on here.
Hold on, give me 1 second here.
You back?
I'm so sorry. Okay. Give me 1 second. Go ahead.
House, or in the Senate right now. Senate Bill 528 is a full legalization bill that was submitted by Senator Dalen Leach. Senate Bill 1181 and Senate Bill 1182 are the two Senate bills that were introduced by Senator Mike Fulmer. And then we also have another bill, 770, that has been introduced by a House representative. However, the 528, the 1181, and the 770 has not come up for hearings or questions just yet. However, Senate Bill 1182, which is the medicinal marijuana or medicinal cannabis that would allow us to have dispensaries, growers, and medical cannabis for the CBD oils for the children, and also in that bill is the adult version, or the THC derivatives of the cannabis plant for adults who suffer PTSD, diabetes. Well, yeah, the list is long. Tomorrow morning we are going in front of the senators We have a Senate hearing with the Law and Justice Committee. It's the second one that's been held within the last 2 months. Frankly and personally, I think the second hearing is more for just to get another update on the effects for adults more so than the children. But the Senate Bill 1182 is going to pass, and it's going to pass the Senate probably in September. We needed 26 senators to support the bill. We have now and out of the 40. How many senators? What was it? It's in the 40s. We have 40 senators on board right now. So we already know that across the table, across the aisle, it's going to pass. Senate Bill 1182 is going to pass this year. The uphill climb after that is going to the House of Representatives. And we have a lot of Republican representatives that are just steadfast no on this bill. But we also, by the same token, have many House Democrats who are already on board, and they're excited to get this bill in the House.
Okay.
So it's going to happen. Full legalization is coming. Make no mistake about it. It is moving and sweeping across the country. And although there are only 2 states, of course, Washington and Colorado, who now have full legalization bills, that it's just helping to get the other states with the medicine part of it. The government really shouldn't even be involved in this. This shouldn't even be a question. The government should not be involved between a patient and a doctor. That is a patient and the doctor's call. Insurance companies shouldn't really tell you, what you can and cannot do. But we're really excited about this bill, and we're really excited about it happening here in Pennsylvania. And we're an extremely conservative state. So this is a remarkable step, and every day we're hearing in the news these wonderful, wonderful stories of just recently, this past week, where the federal government, they've told the feds, back off, leave these medical states alone. They voted to back off from that, and this is what we've needed. So it's the first step toward getting cannabis out of Schedule 1 federally. Once we remove that Schedule 1, this is going to move at lightning speed. Full legalization will come. I'm originally from Oregon, and in Oregon, I joined NORML in 1973, as I said. In 1971, marijuana was already decriminalized in the state of Oregon. In 71. So in 73, through the Schaefer Commission, in 73, when I joined NORML, I honestly was under the belief that this was going to happen real soon, by the time the war was over. The Vietnam War, by the time it was over, they'd be bringing cannabis home from Vietnam, and everybody in the States would be allowed to grow it. Oh my God, was I ever so wrong. That's when I became a true activist. I said, somebody's got to speak out for it, and so I have. And now I gave birth to 2 wonderful kids. My daughter who happens to be our chapter of NORML, and I'm kind of just riding along and helping her out. I sit on the board, but it's her baby. I do talk a lot, and that is what I'm good at. So I speak at the rallies and the hearings and every chance I get.
Good. So, what hurdles specifically for Pennsylvania do you see? You said it's a little bit more of a conservative state.
Education.
Hurdles. Well, no, I don't think education is really a hurdle. I think our hurdles in Pennsylvania are just going to be staunch conservative type people that just have no mind to open, to possibilities. I think that's really truly the biggest hurdle. Once we start seeing the numbers, I think money's going to talk more than anything, and that's sort of maybe some of those minds a little bit.
Money's going to be a big deal. Mike Palmer, Senator Mike Palmer, who introduced Senate Bill 1182, he fact-finding trip, and he came back, he said, with just oodles and oodles of eye-opening information. He was astounded at how well this program is running out there. He was astounded with the grow houses.
Right.
He's very excited now. He's even more excited to get this moving and to get it done right. And in fact, Josh Stanley, who is the one of the 6 co-founders of Realm of Caring in Colorado, when Josh was here at our last Law and Justice Committee hearing, he told the Senate, this bill, Senate Bill 1182 here in Pennsylvania, is the best damn bill he's seen written anywhere in the entire United States, including Colorado. That says a lot. But Debbie is right. Debbie's right. It's the staunch Republican or the staunch conservative. Yeah, I wouldn't even say Republican. Because there's a few Democrats, but yeah, it'll be in educating those senators, those House representatives, and frankly the voters here. It's going to be educating the ones that are complete naysayers.
Unfortunately, marijuana does have that really negative connotation that, it hinders it. So really,
and that's why, and Lancaster Normal, my biggest goal is to change that mindset. I'm ready to bring it mainstream. It is not the stoner stereotype, racist state that everybody wants to make it out to. That started 80-some years ago with Anslinger versus DuPont, who realized that cannabis, hemp, and things like that would put a big hurting on their actual businesses and started to create these giant lies. They'll make you crazy. They'll make people steal your women. They'll make you want to party.
Right.
Like, have sex with eyes because they wanted people dumb. They didn't want people to know about hemp and cannabis and the things that it could do. You know that Henry Ford built an entire automobile out of hemp. The entire automobile. It ran off of hemp oil. I think it was 10 times stronger than steel, but twice as light. And he took a sledgehammer to it. There's a video on YouTube somewhere of it where he took a sledgehammer to it and it didn't break.
Wow.
And it put a big damper on their businesses, and that's where the cannabis lies began. That's where the stoner stereotype began. And then in the 60s, when all of a sudden you had these peace-loving hippies that wanted war to end, and they were stoned all the time and in love with life and people, and they didn't want to see death. It became this, ooh, no, because they weren't part of that war machine, And so that stereotype is stuck. And my goal for Lancaster, anyway, I specifically change that stereotype, because I think if people start opening their minds to it in a different light, it would loosen things up a little bit.
Kelsey, the irony here is that the reason that they prohibited it in the first place, it was legal, and then alcohol prohibition came along, and then when they decided that people could go to bars and drink at home and whatnot, and they got rid of the stigma that was attached to alcohol, they thought, well, God, we got to make something illegal, so they made pot illegal. They made marijuana illegal. And here's the irony is in the money. They did it because they thought big corporations would make more money, and we can't let people medicate themselves and whatnot. It was all about money then, and it's about money today. You know what it's really about? It's about the taxes today. Take a look at Colorado. In the first 6 months, they made $14 million that they could trace.
Right.
Okay? They've made millions more that they aren't accountable for right now because they won't let the banks handle the money that's coming in from the sales, although they're achieving that. They just voted to, in fact, the governor out there, Governor Hickenlooper, just signed a law that marijuana growers can have co-op banking. They can have their own bank because they need oversight.
Right.
They need oversight. So it's funny. It was about money in the 1930s, and it's about money today. It's always about money. The taxes alone could fund our elder. In fact, the taxes alone could fund our elder system. It could take care of our elders. It could fund schools here.
Right.
They gave $1.4 million of that money to schools.
Right.
So,
which could do a lot for any state, just because.
Yeah, instead of Philadelphia closing schools and building prisons, which they consistently
Governor Corbett did that.
Well, whoever.
Governor
They did it in
Corbett closed 23 schools in Philadelphia.
Wow.
built a prison.
Yeah, they're building new prisons here. They're closing schools under this present governor.
That's all the war on drugs is. It's a fight to keep prison open.
It's time to let the smokers and the growers out of jail and make room for real criminals.
As we say, no victim, no crime.
No victim, no crime.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, in regards to, I mean, there's always two sides to the story, and, you know, what negatives do you see by having it become legal?
Well, you're going to still have kids that are going to go to their mom and dad's closet and they're going to reach for a bottle of liquor or a pack of cigarettes right now. When marijuana becomes legal and most households here have it in their home, then they're going to have to keep an eye on their kids, for Christ's sake. Be good parents. Be good parents. Kids being able to get it, steal it, is one of the problems they're going to have. But having said that, kids can get it right now a whole lot easier than they could if we regulate it. You know, take a hold of it and regulate it.
Well,
Watch
they can
over it.
probably get it easier than their parents can right now. Just because of the
They
social
certainly
connection.
do.
And I love how people always ask, well, what about the kids? What about the kids? Well, what do you do now with alcohol and cigarettes? It's not going to be any different. And now we have dealers on the street that aren't going to card your children. They're going to give them whatever they pay for.
Dealers never card.
Dealers don't card. Exactly. That's, you know.
And
I think another big hurdle for it will actually be things like what happened to Maureen Dowd over last weekend. She ate too much of something because she thought she was going to go try it now that it's legal, and she didn't do it correctly. She didn't listen to people. And now it gives her this little stand-up stool she can put her little feet on and start hollering about how awful it is. And because she you know, had this experience. So I think it's going to give some people reasons to blame without as much knowledge they probably should have. Which brings me back to my, you know, other key to this entire process is education. And educating yourself until you're educated, until you think you're not educated enough, and then keep doing it.
then keep learning.
And when you think you're educated enough, keep doing it because you're not. You know, you can't stop.
Well, you know, you brought up that example, and I mean, you think about it. You take too many shots or too many beers, you're gonna have a horrible experience where you might have your head in the toilet, you might end up in the ER having your stomach pumped. Cigarettes are also the same thing. If you know, I remember, you know, when I was 11, 12, I was always told if I catch you smoking, my parents would say, if I catch you smoking, I'm going to make you sit down and smoke a pack of cigarettes. If you think a child can sit down and smoke a pack of cigarettes and not vomit, yeah, that's a whole other story. So either way, there's negative.
And by that logic, if they find out the kid's been drinking or at a party where there was booze, you know, you're not going to make your kids sit down and drink a bottle of bourbon.
That's fair.
Stop.
Well,
Sorry.
I do appreciate both of you ladies taking the time. Is there anything else that you want to add or anything else you want people to know?
Only that we could probably do a whole hour program with you, Kelsey. We could talk a lot
With
more
all
about
kinds
what's
of
going
different
on.
people
Well,
that you love.
Maybe we should do another one after we've gotten a little further in the election process. That could be something that would be great.
And also, I would say write your political officials, all of them.
Absolutely.
Don't stop with just your senators and your
Don't stop
governors
making
and
phone
your mayor. Find out if they are educating, you know, if they're educating themselves. I mean, I found out recently that medical schools across the board have no idea what the endocannabinoid system is. That is a key part of your system. Your body has it. Everybody's body has an endocannabinoid system. We already have cannabinoids. And the medical community and these medical schools aren't teaching about the endocannabinoid system.
That's right.
And it's key to your health.
I have a degree in nursing, Kelsey, and they never talked about the cannabinoid system when I was in school. The endocannabinoid system, we all have it in our body.
Take a brief second and just explain what this system is.
Well, I wish I knew more about it. I do know somebody that knows a ton about it, Jahan Marsu. He's out of Philadelphia. The endocannabinoid system is just, it is a part of your body. It regulates.
It's a complex breaking down of compounds within your own body. they're actually producing more endocannabinoid in their system, which is yeah, the cannabinoids. It's part of the endocrinology.
We can send you some information. I actually have written information. To me, it's complicated, but I understand.
You know what? If you send me that information, I'll make sure to put a link of it below the video. So, well then, I will thank you both for your time today. Again, this is normal, NORML.org. Debbie and Connie again. I appreciate your time, and we might have to do something once the election has passed.
That's awesome. We'd love to.
Alrighty, well, thank you, ladies.
Need help? We'll come out there to where you are and help move this along out there too.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, ladies, very much. Again, this is Kelsey with Green Energy TV.